Let's do it now. We're recording. All right.
Huzzah!
Huzzah! Welcome. Theme song. Let's just do. What are we doing?
20
Night
minutes.
Gallery?
20 minute theme song for a 5 minute episode.
No, we're just doing a quick one.
Yeah, this is a quick
Let's do a Futurama one.
Ooh, yeah.
Let's do the Hitler
You're
one.
hit.
You're entering a realm which is unusual. Maybe it's magic, or contains some kind of monster. The second one. Prepare to enter the scary door.
Bordering in Wonderland, the Twilight Zone review.
There's a gremlin destroying the plane! You've got to believe me!
Why should I believe you? You're Hitler!
No!
Hello, citizens. Welcome to LIW, the Twilight Zone Review, episode 299
Oh my god!
for Night Gallery 208C. Big surprise.
208C. Too bad that wasn't starring a woman. There's no women in this episode at all.
No. There's no episode here.
It's a
You watched it,
short
right?
story at best.
You watched it, right?
Yeah, I'd seen it before.
Okay.
Because I remember that I was like, oh no, I know what this one is. The John Carradine in a
Yeah.
box episode. Yeah.
Well, I've never seen it, so I'm watching it and I'm like,
Still makes no sense.
there's three robot kids talking and walking. They're like, oh, we are coming up on the creepy old man. Let's talk to him, shall we? No, I don't want to. I am programmed to be afraid of him. They are so robotic, these kids. And then John Carradine over here, come on over here.
I've touched lots of kids like you in my day.
He's supposed to be creepy, but I don't think it's the reason they were going for.
No. He had his beard and I kept thinking about that stupid, awful episode we watched that infuriated Adam so much, the Confederate flag episode, where he was the Confederate, and then Charles Bronson turned into a Confederate soldier because Carradine saved his life.
Yeah, that was an episode of Anthology Series Review.
Yeah, that was
Was
O. Henry Theater.
O. Henry Playhouse.
Yeah, that was
Two
awful.
Renegades is the name of the episode. Holy shit,
That
I got
was-
it.
That was so bad.
That was bad.
Insultingly bad.
That was boring. This one is at least brief.
Yes, thankfully.
I-
And it's a fine premise, but it falls apart if you try to put any thought to it.
Again, it's more of an idea
Yeah.
than an actual episode or a story. It's, here's a fun idea. Let's just film it. Fuck it.
I feel like this would be a very interesting. This would be a nice EC comic, 5-page.
Oh, yeah.
It
felt like
short
that.
story in the back of the magazine of that month.
And the last page, you got to flip to
Yeah.
see John Carradine, so it doesn't
Yeah.
spoil it. Surprise! Well, okay,
They
so
fade out. And, oh.
my second note is I want a sign on that guy's lawn that says "Beware the John Carradine." Just beware. He's lurking.
And nobody knows who John Carradine is anymore, so it wouldn't have no effect.
Yeah. But my third note is it literally says this because I guessed the ending. Tells kids to go dig up his grave. My
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Because what the fuck else could it be? He's like,
Exactly.
You want to get you in the blue jacket? Come over here. You want to have a big surprise? Go. You know, there's a tree out there, and under that you're gonna find a rock that has no earthly business in a main. Oh, sorry, that's Shawshank.
You're gonna find a Titanic tin box with money in it.
There's a note, handwritten note. You're gonna see it in there, and you're gonna drive to Mexico. But he tells them to find a tree and walk 10 paces, dig 4 feet, and they
4 feet my ass. He was like 8 feet in that hole. That hole was fucking deep.
well, they're kids,
was-
they're not that tall.
Granted, but he's like that. Go to the end.
I'll
of the
show it.
episode.
It's about 4
Yeah,
feet.
he's deep in that hole. Because David Carradine is going to eat him alive, like 8 feet in that hole.
Oh.
He can't get out of that hole. He can't escape.
But yeah, they go there after whining and bitching for a solid 4 minutes. They finally just get their Guido friend to go along with them and dig. They dig, they find nothing. The other kid scampers off. He's like, fuck it. And then Guido kid leaves. We just leave our main character there digging. And he thunk, hit something. Let's look at the hole, though.
It's like a wide and deep hole. Like that kid's a good digger.
I did fast forward through the digging. This is only 10 minutes
fast-forwarded,
long,
yeah.
and I fast forwarded.
Absolutely, yeah.
They dig for fucking
Guess-
ever.
Well, because you know what's going to happen. It's just like, okay, let's get to the punchline. I'm done.
Yeah, here's the
He's
hole.
he's in the hole. He's in the grave. Whatever.
The kid's 4 foot tall, probably. You know,
No, that kid's at least 6'3".
Kareem Abdul the
How the
kid.
okay, this kid. Look at how scrawny he is. How the fuck did he dig a hole that big, that wide?
Well, he had his other
And
two.
he gets the lock off of the cover. He got a shovel. He should just whacked him in the face.
I don't want to get shut off here, so I'll do that,
Oh.
and then we'll go right back to it.
Now, it would have been funnier if he opened up that coffin. It was David Carradine jerking off with a hose around his neck. Surprise! Ah! And then he dies.
Remember me.
Remember me as a fighter. Remember me as Kill Bill.
Surprise.
Here's the thing. No,
Yeah.
I guessed it. The second
Yeah.
he said, go dig something up, you'll
Yeah.
find a surprise. I was like, it's him.
And the kid has a weapon right there. Take the shovel and go, Gah! Right there.
God, that'd be great.
Right in his mouth, like the Vanishing, like Jeff Bridges. when Kiefer Sutherland stabs him in the mouth with a shovel.
It would turn into a Coen Brothers movie.
It would be great.
Hilarity
Ah!
ensues from there.
Well, that's what happens at the end of that stupid movie that was on HBO Max, and when HBO Max had premiered the theatrical releases, the Little Things, the Denzel
Oh.
Washington movie.
Oh, the what?
With Mr. Robot and the Little Things. It was
Oh, okay.
Denzel Washington movie.
Yeah, yeah.
And Denzel didn't want it to be released on HBO Max, but they gave him $10 million to shut up because that was his back end deal. And that's basically what they did with all these movies. HBO Plus was the biggest mistake Warner Brothers ever made.
Oh,
They
yeah.
lost $1 billion this year because of HBO Max.
Hey.
Just stupid.
I'm glad right now because we're about to get to something here.
Oh, I was going to go backwards and use my arms behind my head.
That's what I want to talk about with
I
this
kinda do
episode.
that. Ah!
So, he digs him up. The end. It's not a story. It's kind of an amusing anecdote, like a campfire story at best.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I give it a 3 because it is boring.
I'll give it a 5 because I'm not going to be that mean to it. It's short. It's to the point. And this fucking episode is like loaded with stories. There's like 4 stories in this
The
episode.
Diary, A Matter of Semantics, which we're doing soon. Big surprise, Professor Peabody's last lecture.
And I've seen that one before.
Patty
That's what
Duke
Cro-
is in one of them. David Wayne.
Well, Jack Laird wrote the last one.
Carl Reiner's in one.
Carl Reiner is in it, yeah.
Caesar Romero, John Carradine. We saw Virginia Mayo, which is crazy.
The Cesar Romero one is terrible. I watched that one before this one because it's literally 5 minutes
Oh
long.
yeah, I saw that one.
It's terrible.
I didn't watch it all the way through, but I saw like enough to see he's Dracula
the
or
end
something.
where
And
he
I was
goes,
like, what?
I want to take out a loan.
Yeah,
Like, oh, and he showed his teeth. Oh my god, his teeth were horrible.
yeah. It
Now,
didn't look
that was
good.
that's some long cigar smoking teeth right there, like those 1910 cigars that you smell. And Gilbert Gottfried said that apparently Cesar Romero liked to throw lime wedges at men's asses in baby pools.
What does that mean?
That was a fetish of his, I guess, because on his podcast he talks about Hollywood a lot. He's a big Hollywood fanatic, like old Hollywood. So he knows all these stories about these actors and actresses, and they're all perverts. And he knows all the stories. Oh, it was hilarious. I don't know if they're true, but I would say
I just
join
had
on.
my face during that I watched when I watched. Okay, let me backtrack because I'm trying to say so many. My brain is still trying to wrap my head around *Malignant*. Pardon the pun.
Yes.
I want to talk about it. We'll talk
Yeah,
about it in
no,
a
you
minute.
have to.
But that was my face when you were telling me that story. That's what the whole *Malignant*. Like,
Yeah.
but let's stop right here. We're done with this. I gave it a 3 because even though it was only 10 minutes and the stories, the parts at the beginning and end are fine, there is so much of that kid bitching and digging and I fast forwarded through it and that's fucked up. That's why I gave it a 3.
And you didn't even fast forward that episode with that chick and the swamp creature.
No.
That one you could fast forward.
That one I should have, had I known.
Thing. Yeah, I think I might.
Brenda.
Have. Oh
Fuck
god,
you, Brenda.
that one is hands down next to the I Hate Nature one. Probably the 2 worst things I've ever seen.
Okay, so we're done with that. So now we're going to do a little special deep dive. Not deep dive, shallow dive into Malignant, which we will finish probably Sunday.
Oh, you're gonna? It's just a 2-parter.
I think we should discuss it a little bit later too, because right now I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck I watched. So Malignant from 2021, James Wan movie.
Should this be a separate cat podcast?
I feel like it should.
It should be. Let's break here.
Do you want to just do it on Sunday?
Yes, I think that'd probably be better.
Okay.
Because then I could go back and kind of watch pieces of it again, because I watched it already.
We need to discuss this movie.
We need to talk about it.
We might even cancel the Cage movie. I don't know. We need to discuss.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say.
I think I don't ever do this, but I think I might bump the podcast, bump Nick Cage.
Yeah, I think so.
Because that was insanity what I watched, and
it's October.
Okay.
It's going to be a Halloween.
Yes,
theme,
you're
so I
right.
think,
And we're off another week. So if we don't do it now, we're not going to do it. So let's pause the Malignant conversation until Sunday, which would be 10/3. In which case, we're discussing Lee Martin's The Midnight Hour, Die Laughing, and Malignant.
Oh my God, what a great 2 hours of time that will be.
And then when we come back, we'll get to Prisons of the Ghostland, because that can wait.
Yeah, that's fine.
That gives people time to watch it. So I'll post shit about it. But watch Malignant. It's on HBO Max right now. I think it's expiring in October, so watch it while you can. But holy shit. I don't want to give anything away. Because I've never been so blown away. And afterwards, we watched the movie. The whole time I'm going, is this sarcastic? And then we watched it, and I went, and we're both just sitting there, and we're just like, and then I started to watch Jay and Mike's review on Half in the Bag, and I noticed they started off the exact same way we ended the movie, and I was like, yes, and I stopped it. I'm like, I'm not going to watch this. We need to discuss it first. So I haven't watched their review. I don't want to.
They went into some details which explains quite a bit.
Okay. I'm not going to watch that until afterward.
There's behind the scene talk of who is involved and why, and it makes sense where they're coming from, because they basically compared it to Freddy Got Fingered. Did you see that part?
Yeah, I compared it as well yesterday, actually. Because when I was telling you, I'm like, this is the most sarcastic horror movie. I was going to say movie, and I'm like, no, Freddy Got Fingered is the same way. Where it's a movie made completely sarcastically. And this felt like it, but I'm not sure, and that's all I'm going to say. We'll talk about it later. But holy shit, I might have to watch it again. And I didn't know how to rate it after. I have every movie I've ever watched in a list and ratings with it. And this one is the only one that's just not rated. And I'm like, how do I rate this?
It's not, it's something else. I can say that. I don't know. It is a ripoff of other movies. But
definitely.
We'll get into that later.
But it has such its own unique, I don't want to say voice. It has its own unique, I don't want to say style. It has its own malignancy.
Well, it's the vestigial twin of James Wan.
Yeah.
It's like the mirror verse of Wan.
Wames John.
Whatever the fuck he is.
All right, let's stop. Let's before we start breaking it down too much. Just go watch it. You will enjoy it. It is something. But what was not something was Big Surprise.
No.
It's 10 minutes. There's nothing else to say about it.
In 10 minutes, you can fast forward the middle 6 minutes and they get the same result.
I do want to play the robotic kids talking though. Just a quick clip.
What you mean?
The very beginning.
You're so full of it, Johnny. We're done with this digging hole stuff.
Just hear these robots here talking.
There he is.
He's got a yo-yo. Mr. Carter?
What do you think he wants?
Why don't you ask him?
Are you kidding? I wouldn't go near him for $1 million. Has anybody ever gone near him?
Not unless they were crazy.
Come here.
Wow.
I have something to tell you.
I just can't with that kid in the middle. I wouldn't
I
go
would
near
not
him for
go
$1
to
million.
this place for $1 million.
I would not go near him for $1 million. Like, it's bad. It's all voiceover for some reason. Was it super windy, or is there like heavy machine gun fire?
Yeah, they're shooting the longest day on the other side of the hill.
I think it was a Dukes of Hazzards episode they're shooting back there.
Oh, the Duke boys are in trouble again. Boss Hog.
You can hear that goddamn General Lee revving its engine in the background. Fuck, we're at the dub
You
over
can
the
see-
robot.
You can see Catherine Bach's pussy lips on her Daisy Dukes.
Put those on Boss Hog. Ugh.
Ooh,
Sexy.
Oh, no.
All right. 3. You gave it a 5. Okay. I have
Sure.
whatever. Cool.
That's fine.
We're done, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
It's a nothing. It's a big nothing burger. It does nothing to add to the lexicon of Night Gallery.
No.
It only goes. I wanted to share some of this video, which I watched today, called "Why Rod Serling Was Dissatisfied with Night Gallery." I was hoping more from that video where he would go more into detail, but it was really just boiled down to he didn't like that they're just suddenly doing these stupid things to pad the runtime. And this is where I say I disagree with the fans, where they say Night Gallery and Rod Serling's great, so Night Gallery's great. I'm like, no. Rod was not fully on board with Night Gallery
No.
for the reasons why Twilight Zone worked.
Yeah.
He wanted to do a story, and then he was fine with doing multiple stories, but not what it became. It just became dog shit.
Do you think he wanted to choke Jack Laird every week?
Most of you left. But at least season 3 got cut down to half an hour.
Yeah.
Even though they're terrible.
You gotta find that Dick Cavett interview when he talks about, like, he's on there, he's visibly shaken and
We played it.
disappointed and mad. And you can tell he's not happy with Night Gallery. So he's not, this isn't his show. And you can tell he's pissed off about it.
And that's exactly my point, is
Yeah.
Rod Serling didn't like the show.
No.
Why are you defending it because of Rod Serling?
Yeah.
I just don't understand the logic. It's not a good show.
Rod Sirloin was getting his 401k situated with Night Gallery. This was a last-ditch effort to sort of get money from the studios and then just get out. I think this was his way out because he probably knew he was going to be dead in 5 years.
He's like, I've smoked a truck of cigarettes.
I feel like the burnt end of a Marlboro. I need to go. I'm tired.
I want to interview his daughter and be like, how bad did your family house smell?
Yeah.
But I don't want to come off as like crass or like condescending, but I'm like, I really want to know, honestly.
Like she'll give you an original typed manuscript of like a Twilight Zone episode, and it just smells like Chesterfields.
Yeah.
It's just like you can smell it when she opens the suitcase. Oh, Jesus Christ!
Well, John Carpenter's, I forget if it was his wife or his assistant, they couldn't find the mask after the first movie for the sequel.
Right, yeah.
And they finally found it under John Carpenter's bed, and it was yellow because he smoked that much. It was
amazing.
a couple years later they made the sequel.
And he's still alive.
They made what's the first Halloween? 78?
78. Yeah.
And the second one is 81. So 3 years, and it was yellow. That's insanity.
insane. Yeah, that's crazy. You guys really want this mask? Oh, shit, I gotta look for it. Give me about 2 weeks, and we'll find it for you.
And I doubt he smoked nearly as much as Rod Serling.
I don't know. He's up there, man. Every interview I see him in, he's got a cigarette in his hand.
Yeah, so is Rod Serling, and also Rod
That's what I'm
Serling
saying, yeah.
wouldn't host the show without smoking.
Yeah. He's smoking in body bags, for Christ's sake.
All right, let's get out of here. So until next time, in the meantime, I'm Phoenix West.
Take it.
LAWstudios.com. So long, citizens.